like to listen to myself talk, so I'm going to give you just a couple of minutes spiel on how I got to be doing this and what I'm doing now, and then we're just going to open it up for questions, because that's generally why people come to these things. They want to know, how do I do it, or whatever. I started my blog, Real Debate Wisconsin, a couple months shy of 5 years ago. My original mission was to create a place where people from the right and people from the left could come together and discuss the issues of the day amicably. It's a major failure. The left just doesn't want to do that. They want to scream and yell. So in that, I take a lot of heat from the name of my blog, because those really radical people on the left, I've invited them not to come back anymore, because they just sap all the fun out of everything. What I've been known for doing over the years is just doing what I do. I've broken a lot of news, my own news, and just to give you a little idea how this works. How many of you remember a few weeks before the presidential election, there was a story about big Obama love in the textbooks in the schools in Racine. It became a national story, went over there. How did that start? I got a call from a friend who said they have a friend whose kid is in the class, and they're concerned about why is this 3-day love fest for Obama going on in the middle of an election when not a mention was made of Senator McCain. It's a good question. Why don't we ask that on the blog? And the next thing you know, Mr. Wigderson over there is covering it, and here, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's on the Heritage Foundation, and then it's on Drudge, and Rush is talking about it, and boom, boom, boom. And here is a big story that we're having a national impact that just happened out of my home office in Racine. That's the way this thing works. It takes time to build those relationships, get things going. You just have to be steady with it. You got to get after it every day and just get out there. A lot of people think bloggers are just weird, strange people that hide in their, basement and do whatever they do in their underwear. And that's out there. The greatest thing about blogging is creating relationships. And, that's where I've been effective in getting out and doing that. For those of you who are maybe curious, we have a thing every month that we call Drinking Right. Okay? The model of drinking right is it's not about being drinking, it's not about being right, it's about being drinking. That's the model. But we hold this the second Tuesday of every month at a adult beverage establishment called Papa's on 78th and Burleigh right here, and I encourage you to come out and just, meet us, talk to us, people who write blogs, read blogs, whatever, get out there and do it.
What was that date?
What day is that? It's the second Tuesday of every month, so it'll be coming up this Tuesday evening at Papa's. Unless it's an election year, where it's the first Tuesday and then we hold an election. It was a bad night in November. Yeah. A lot of drinking. A question was asked, what are the best blogs in Wisconsin? Where do you go? Go to my website first, Debate Wisconsin. Type that in any website, you'll find it. We have a blog roll there on the right-hand side, which lists all the biggies. Some of the big ones are here. Patrick Dorwin over here is the Badger blogger. Patrick is the guy that dogged Michael McGee Jr. every day. Okay? Until Biskupic's office picked up on it, ran of him, and put the crook in jail. Patrick is the guy who put the notice on him every day. I give him all the credit for that story.
Thank you, Patrick.
Sure. It's just fun. I just mentioned I was actually, in the last couple of weeks, this Lee McIver Institute that we introduced this morning, I've been asked to be their blogger, so I'll be putting out all their information. It's going to be hard for me to be nonpartisan, but I'm going to do my best. I'm a very partisan individual. But I would encourage any of you that are curious about this to just ask, try. It's easy. There's nothing to it. I see Jody Harding in the audience. Jody started her blog a little while ago, and now she's jodyformayor.com. She's running for mayor in Racine to replace our Herbert. Thank you, Jody. Are there any questions? Because that's kind of what I see my role here. I'm kind of the de facto expert on the Wisconsin blogosphere, or the cheddar sphere, as we like to call it. Any questions? Yes, sir.
I'd like to probably ask the first dumb question.
Okay.
I'm a guy that works with the computer every day, but I don't know how I would be doing the blogging, or how I would do the wiki.
Okay.
I mean, never, there's no time to do it, or what would have the interest.
So the big question is, how do you do it? Eric had a slide earlier where you put blogger.com and wordpress.com, and there's a number of sites out there where you can go and just, you create a little profile for yourself, which is just telling them your name and your address and who you are. And then you name it. And if you can literally like type a letter in like a Microsoft Word document or something, that's all the harder it is to it. Very easy step-by-step instructions that are in there that will help you get going. If you can type a letter, you get published and you're live. When I started, I was just a guy with an opinion and, thought that, I could share. And I'll never forget, it was like my second day, I saw somebody link to me and somebody else linked to me, and I got it going and back and forth. Next thing you know, I've got about 500 readers a day, which is okay for a local blog. It just takes off and goes crazy. Yes, sir.
What is the best way to get more people to read your blog?
Excellent question. The best way is to read other people's blogs.
Okay.
We all have little tools on our blogs where we go and we see who's reading us, and we see where the traffic is coming from. If you link back to another blogger, they'll go and read your stuff. And if they find it compelling or interesting, they'll tell their readers to go to your website.
Okay.
Happens all the time. But we call it linky love. Okay? Linky love. So you get out, you get the linky love, people reciprocate. You go to your website, go to their website, and that's just where it starts and it goes. And I encourage people to, actually get out there and do what we call IRL thing in real life, where you get out and meet people and you're not just hiding behind your websites, which is kind of fun. Yes, sir?
Yeah, you had said you guys meet every second Tuesday of the month at Papa's on, was it 78th and Burlap?
Correct.
What time was that at?
Yeah, we start around 7 and we end up until 10 to 30, whatever. It's the greatest thing in the world. The bar, actually, the gentleman who owns the place likes us, feeds us for some reason, and he buys the first drink and he feeds us, which ain't bad. So we get, he brings out a bunch of pizzas and whatnot every month, and, we just do our thing. You want to buy me a drink when he comes, I just a Diet Coke guy. So any more questions? Gotta be some. Mr. Wigderson. Mr. Wigderson of the Wigderson Library and Pub Blog.
I was going to just, maybe if you could give a couple more examples of some local successes as far as covering stories, and also why covering being a local blog is now much more important than writing a national blog.
Yeah, that point was made earlier about the local impact. I mean, I have a reputation for doing my own thing, and I've got a few heads on my wall. We had a very bad superintendent of schools in Racine, and I was just on him like nothing. And just made information requests, got a stack of papers this big that I went through and just published stuff about what he was doing. $250 plate gourmet dinners while he was traveling on our dime. That ticked off people more than anything. Published the receipts with his signature on them, telling what he was out there doing, and you get people interested and seeing what's going on, which that all led to an investigation which led to his ouster. So we've got a new superintendent right now. I caught the chairman of the Democratic Party of Racine County in a sexual harassment scandal. And, got him ousted. There have been others, but, what was said about the local issues, I mean, they're huge. Your papers probably aren't covering what you're doing. Yes, ma'am?
You work on it every day or a couple times a day? Or
you can do it as often as you want. I typically peruse things for half an hour or so before I go to work in the morning. I spend another half an hour to an hour on it at night. I post a lot, and I tend to post 5 to 8 times a day. That's me personally. Most people don't post that much. Once a day, once every other day, once a week. People just show up when they show up. One of the hardest things to do when you get into this is how do you read all these things? That's a hard thing. For any of you who want to do this, look into a simple web-based program called Google Reader. It saved my life. Okay? I read 200 blogs a day. That's the hardest thing, is keeping up with everybody. But you go to this, you set up just a little feed, you just import their web address, and it'll just bring you their new stuff. I used to waste a lot of time going around looking, and you're seeing old stuff, and just time waster. With the Google Reader, you just see what's new and relevant, and that way you can cover a lot more material more quickly. So it makes it a lot easier to read the